Hey, thanks for checking out Nuts and Bolts with Tone, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about inner tie rods. Alright, so inner tie rods can be a real pain in the butt. I have been dealing with them, since I started in this industry. I've known a lot of guys that had inner tie rod tools, and I can tell you right now that every single time I've ever borrowed an inner tie rod tool from someone, they never worked. They never had the right size, ever. Never once. Only one time somebody had a universal one, and I can't remember what brand it was. It was really expensive. And it was a universal inner tie rod tool, and it worked for sprinters. Sprinters can be a real bugger. The first time I ever dealt with a sprinter, I have some tools now I'm going to show you that I didn't have at the time. But sprinters can be real tough because of the way the front end is designed, and the inner tie rod doesn't come out enough to get certain kinds of tools on them. And so like the first time I ever did inner tie rods on one, I actually had to unbolt the rack and move the rack over. A lot of times with inner tie rods, you'll find where if you don't have a tool kit that works for them, you end up having to turn the wheel all the way to the left, and and then go do the other side, take it out, swap it out, then go turn the wheel all the way to the right. It can be a pain, and it can be time consuming. So the first tool I ever got for inner tie rods, one of my old coworkers that I worked with a long time ago, the guy was super fast. Probably one of the fastest R&R techs I've ever seen was Henry. And I worked with Henry for a while, and I learned a lot from Henry, watching him work. And so anyways, a long time ago, I was doing inner tie rods, and he gave me this crescent wrench. This thing's about, 14 inches long. It's like, maybe 2 inches wide, and the head of it is gigantic, right? And so to open this thing up, to fit an inner tie rod, you're like here. That's a lot of space. And so this works on some, but a lot of vehicles, this does not work on. Just because you can't get it in there and you can't turn it properly to get it out. And what's funny is it doesn't take hardly anything to break an inner tie rod loose. Once you break it loose, it spins right out. So this was the first tool that I got. And I actually need to get a couple more crescent wrenches, a couple smaller ones, and I really need like a bigger one. But anyways, so Henry, thank you. He gave this to me probably like 8 years ago or so, maybe, no. Yeah, probably about 8 years ago he gave this to me. So thank you, Henry. I still have it. The next tool that I bought was, somebody let me borrow a tool one time. I was, when you're doing inner tie rods, if you don't have the right tool, then you're scrambling. You're scrambling through your box, through everything, borrowing stuff from people, because I never knew anyone that had a good inner tie rod tool set. And so somebody let me borrow a pipe wrench one time. And a pipe wrench worked. It took it off. In that instance, I've found that a lot of times a pipe wrench doesn't work. So this one here, this one's about, 16 inches long. This one's pretty long. And Harbor Freight, Pittsburgh, baby. But anyways, to get this in there, you've got to get it turned just right for it to bite properly. And a lot of times where you need to get it to bite, you just can't get it because the handle's in the way. It just won't reach. So this is, this and the crescent wrench, these are tools that you need anyways, just because you should have them. This wasn't super expensive. Pittsburgh, it works. It works great, actually. If you can get it locked on, it works fantastic. But it's real big. If you look at, this and this, they're, the same size, essentially. So, but this one, a lot of times the inner tie rod, the portion is here, and you can only get up here. You need to be here, but you can't get in there but to there. And so that's where this works. Sometimes you can kind of have it at an angle but a lot of times the angle's too severe and it won't bite. So the next tool I got now, I recommend you buy this. Somebody let me borrow these one time. I was doing a Sprinter, do a lot of inner tie rods on the Sprinters because they're always bad. I mean, the things eat tie rods. And so I'm not sure what these are called, I can't remember. But anyways, Banco. Well, that's who makes it, I think. But anyway, snap-on. So these snap-on guys right here, you know, it's adjustable. You can spin it all the way out. Oh. Don't think I've ever opened it all the way. But anyways, so this works really well. Like I said, if you can get it in there. Can't always get it in there. But this is a lot smaller. You can see it's real thin. The head of it is real small. I mean, if we compare it to here, I mean, you can see the difference, you know. So I mean, look at the difference there. I mean, you know, but you're dealing with the same thing here. You're dealing with, you know, needing to be here, and a lot of times, you know, your angle is here, and it won't bite. I mean, and then you have to tighten it. That's the thing. Is not only do you have to put it on, you have to break it loose, but you have to tighten it up. So, my friends at Mayhew at Carnage Tools sent me this to try out. Mayhew Tools, inner tie rod, 3-piece inner tie rod tool kit. Now, I was doing tons of inner tie rods, and then all of a sudden, I couldn't. I wasn't doing any. I got this, and I literally have not done any inner tie rods. So I told all the guys I work with, you know, hey, if you know, get any inner tie rods, you know, let me know, because I have a toolkit I want to try. So this is what it looks like. So it looks like that, right? You got 3 adapters, and you have the main body. So the main body, I can't recall what size this is. It's a drive, so I can't remember. We just grabbed the sockets and just started finding it. I was just trying to, it was somebody else's job. I just wanted to see if it worked. And then I let him borrow it, you know, just to do the whole job. And he did the whole thing. So it comes with 3 adapters. So you got the red one here, and it has these rollers that roll around and they lock in. And this works for taking them off and putting them back on. So this one covers 28 to 34 millimeter, or 1.8" and to 1 5/16". So all you're gonna do is you're gonna just drop this in. Okay, super simple. And you take this 1 C-clip and you put it in there. No special tools, no pliers, no nothing. And then there you go. And all you do is slide this in, turn it till it locks, and then break it loose.
The pineapple in the lunchroom, huh? He said, let's check out this tool. Check that out, huh?
Boom. So, just don't lose the clip, because you kind of need that. All right, so there's the first one. All right, and this thing is pretty stout. I mean, this thing is gonna hold up to some torque. Let's see. So we have the red one here, 1.8" to 1 5/16". And then you got the green one here, and this one is, let's see, if you're in the metric, 39 to 45 millimeter, or 1 9/16" to 1 3/4". So there's the green one. Now let's go to the blue one. Now the blue one is 34 to 39 millimeter. Oh, the blue one's in between. I got them backwards. So the middle one is 34 millimeter to 39 millimeter, and that's 1 5/16" to 1 9/16". And then the green one is 1 9/16" to 1 3/4". So the one we used, I think, was the red one. Worked perfect. Used a torque wrench to torque it and everything. So I mean, I've never torqued the inner tie rod. I didn't do the job. I just know the tech used the torque wrench and it worked perfect. So I strongly recommend that you look into this tool, because this will eliminate a lot of heartache with inner tie rods. And so here, I'll show that again. Right there shows the part number, and that's Mayhew Tools, also Carnage Tools. So definitely, I'll put a link in the description below for this, hopefully. Yeah, so a couple things. Make sure you get this inner tie rod toolkit. Oh, if you work on sprinters, make sure you check the front end. Front ends on those are always loose. Inner tie rods are always bad. Everything else is usually pretty tight, but the inner tie rods. Little tech tip: when you're checking anything that's 3/4 ton and up, you want to check it fully loaded. Keep the front wheels on the ground and have some vehicle off. Have somebody rock the steering wheel side to side and listen. If you have a sprinter, you'll hear knock, 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 knock. That's because that inner tie rod is loose and it's doing this. And also, if you ever have even a 1 ton or a smaller vehicle that has a front end problem and you're having trouble with it, check it on the ground loaded. Same principle. Fully loaded, car off, have somebody rock that steering wheel and start feeling the joints. What you do is you start at the outer tie rod and you feel, and you'll feel play, but you won't feel it on this side of it. And then you move this way to the inner tie rod, and then you'll feel the play. You can go to the pitman arm, you can go to the, the idler arm, you can go everywhere. If you can't see it, you'll be able to feel it. That's a little tech tip. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope if you don't have these tools, maybe you look into it. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think. Let me know what you use. And hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell. You get notified of all my future content. Thanks for watching. Also, check me out on Instagram, Nuts and Bolts with Tone, daily life, working on cars, trucks, showing you tools. I only show you the good stuff. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.